Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm so grateful you have joined me today, and I can't wait to dive into something that has the power to change your life. The value of a woman is not something that man can give. It is something that she was born with. She was created with dignity, with purpose, with power. To respect a woman is not an act of kindness. It is a demonstration of character. It is the mark of wisdom. It is the proof of a man's true strength. A woman is not an object, not a tool, not a background figure in someone else's story. She is a mother, a sister, a wife, a leader, a visionary. And how you treat her speaks louder than anything you say. When you honor a woman, you honor the one who gave you life, the one who nurtured your existence, the one who has the power to build or break nations. Look around you. The health of any society can be measured by how it treats its women. Where women are honored, families are strong. Where women are respected, children are nurtured with wisdom. Where women are empowered, communities flourish. But when women are disrespected, devalued, or silenced, chaos takes over. Broken homes, wounded children, and a generation lost in confusion are the results of a culture that fails to honor its women. Respecting women is not about giving them something extra. It is about recognizing what was already theirs. Their value is not up for debate. It is not based on what they wear, where they work, or who they marry. Their worth was established the day they were created. And if you fail to recognize that, the problem is not with them, it is with you. It is easy to demand respect, but real leaders give it first. It is easy to claim authority, but real power is shown in how you lift others up. When you treat a woman with honor, you set a standard for the world. You tell your sons what kind of men they should be. You teach your daughters what kind of respect they should never settle for. You create a culture where love replaces fear, where dignity replaces oppression, where humanity thrives. Women are the foundation of society because they carry within them the ability to nurture, shape, and build the future. From the moment a child is conceived, a woman becomes the first home, the first teacher, and the first source of love. She sacrifices her comfort, her body, and her time to ensure that life continues. Her strength is not always loud, but it is undeniable. Without her, families would crumble, communities would weaken, and the very fabric of society would unravel. Beyond the home, women are the backbone of education, healthcare, and leadership. They mold young minds in classrooms, heal the sick in hospitals, and drive progress in boardrooms. They stand at the front lines of change, breaking barriers and opening doors for future generations. Their wisdom, patience, and resilience set the tone for a society's moral and ethical compass. Where women are valued and empowered, nations flourish. Where they are oppressed, societies stagnate. A woman's influence goes far beyond her immediate family. She is the thread that binds generations together. As daughters, they bring hope. As mothers, they shape character. As grandmothers, they pass down wisdom. Every great leader, thinker, and innovator was once shaped by the hands of a woman. Her contribution is not limited to reproduction. She is an architect of dreams, a carrier of culture, and a protector of values. A conspirator, even in the face of adversity, women rise. They endure struggles with grace, face hardships with resilience, and turn obstacles into opportunities. Their ability to balance strength with compassion, authority with humility, and ambition with selflessness makes them irreplaceable. The world may build great structures, powerful empires, and technological advancements, but without the foundation of women, everything would lack meaning, stability, and purpose. Respect is not a privilege to be earned. It is a fundamental responsibility. It is not based on status, gender, or achievements, but on the inherent dignity of every human being. When it comes to women, respect is not an act of kindness or generosity. It is a moral duty. A society that fails to respect women ultimately fails itself, because disrespect weakens the very foundation of families, communities, and progress. True respect is not shown only when it is convenient or when someone is watching. It is a reflection of character, an internal commitment to honoring others regardless of circumstances. It is easy to demand respect, but the true test of integrity is in giving it first. Respect is not just about words. It is reflected in actions, attitudes, and decisions. It means acknowledging a woman's worth without conditions, treating her as an equal, and ensuring that she is not subjected to harm, discrimination, or belittlement. Disrespect is more than an insult, it is a form of injustice. When women are not given the respect they deserve, they are denied opportunities, silenced in conversations, and forced to prove their worth over and over again. This is not just unfair, it is destructive. It creates environments where women feel unsafe, unheard, and undervalued, which in turn weakens families, limits growth, and stifles potential. Respecting women is not about following trends or meeting societal expectations. It is about recognizing what is right. It is about fostering an environment where women can exist without fear, speak without hesitation, and thrive without restrictions. The measure of a person's true strength is not in how much power they hold, but in how they use that power to uplift, protect, and honor those around them. A woman's worth is not something that can be assigned, measured, or defined by society, culture, or individuals. It is not based on appearance, marital status, career achievements, or the opinions of others. Her value exists simply because she does. It is not up for debate, negotiation, or approval. A woman does not become valuable because of what she does for others. She is valuable because of who she is. Throughout history, societies have attempted to dictate a woman's worth, often attaching it to roles, expectations, or limitations. Some define her by her ability to nurture a family, others by her success in a profession, and some by the way she presents herself to the world. These external measures are shallow and temporary. A woman's worth is intrinsic, not conditional. She is not more valuable when she is young and less when she ages. She is not defined by her relationship status, her choices, or her willingness to conform to expectations. Her dignity remains constant, whether recognized or ignored. True worth comes from within. It is found in her mind, her spirit, her resilience, and her ability to shape the world around her. No amount of criticism can take away her strength, and no amount of praise can give her something she does not already possess. The danger lies in allowing external voices to dictate internal value. When a woman believes she must prove her worth to be respected, she carries a burden she was never meant to bear. A woman does not need validation to be significant. Her worth is not increased by acceptance or diminished by rejection. She was created whole, with purpose, with brilliance, with undeniable value. The moment she realizes this truth, she becomes unstoppable. Men and women were never created to compete against each other. They were designed to complement, support, and strengthen one another. They each bring unique qualities, perspectives, and strengths that, when combined, create balance and progress. A society that pits men and women against each other is a society that weakens itself, for true success is not found in division, but in unity. Competition suggests that one must win while the other loses. But life is not a battleground where men and women must fight for dominance. Strength does not come from overpowering, but from collaboration. When men and women work together, families become stronger, workplaces become more innovative, and communities thrive. One does not have to diminish for the other to rise. Instead, when one is uplifted, both are elevated. A home where men and women stand as equal partners is a home filled with peace, respect, and mutual growth. A workplace that values the contributions of both genders sees creativity and efficiency flourish. A society that encourages cooperation between men and women creates a future where everyone benefits. The struggle is not between men and women. The real battle is against injustice, ignorance, and inequality. History has often placed them on opposite sides, creating an illusion that they must prove their worth against each other. But the truth is, their worth was never meant to be compared. It was meant to be combined. Men and women are not rivals fighting for the same space. They are co-builders, shaping families, businesses, and nations together. They are meant to stand side by side, not in opposition. When they embrace partnership over competition, they unlock their true potential, creating a world where strength is shared and success is limitless. Disrespect is not just an individual act. It is a seed that, once planted, grows into a cycle that affects families, communities, and entire generations. When disrespect becomes normalized, it slowly erodes the foundation of relationships, trust, and values. A child who grows up witnessing disrespect, especially towards women, learns that dishonor is acceptable, and that lesson is carried forward into the next generation. The way people treat each other today shapes the kind of world future generations will inherit. When women are disrespected in homes, children absorb that environment. A boy who sees his mother, sister, or female relatives treated with disregard learns to do the same. A girl who grows up in an atmosphere of belittlement may struggle to recognize her worth, leading to a cycle of low self-esteem and acceptance of mistreatment. This is not just a personal issue, it becomes a societal problem, weakening families, breaking communities, and creating a world where respect is no longer valued. Disrespect breeds division and conflict. It teaches people to see others as inferior, making it easier to justify discrimination, inequality, and oppression. Over time, this lack of respect manifests in failed relationships, broken homes, and dysfunctional societies. Where respect is missing, love is replaced with fear, trust is replaced with suspicion, and harmony is replaced with chaos. A generation raised in disrespect carries wounds that take years to heal. But when respect is taught and practiced, the impact is just as powerful. It creates strong men who uplift rather than oppress, and strong women who stand in their dignity. It nurtures families where love and honor are the foundation. It shapes a future where every individual, regardless of gender, is valued, protected, and empowered to thrive. Empowering women is not just about giving them opportunities. It is about unlocking the full potential of a society. When women are given the freedom to learn, grow, and lead, entire communities benefit. A strong woman does not only uplift herself, she becomes a source of strength for her family, her workplace, and the people around her. Her success is not isolated, it spreads, creating waves of progress that touch every corner of society. When a woman is educated, she does not just gain knowledge for herself, she passes it down to her children, ensuring that the next generation is wiser and more prepared for the future. An empowered mother raises confident daughters who know their worth, and sons who respect and value women. This creates a cycle of strength, breaking the chains of oppression and inequality that have held societies back for centuries. In the workplace, empowering women leads to economic growth and innovation. Women bring diverse perspectives, creative solutions, and leadership styles that drive success. Businesses and economies that invest in women see higher productivity, better decision-making, and greater stability. A society that denies women opportunities is not only holding them back, but also limiting its own potential. Beyond economic and educational benefits, empowering women fosters stronger communities. When women have a voice in decision-making, they advocate for better healthcare, education, and social policies that benefit everyone. They become agents of change, working to eliminate injustices and build a fairer world. A world that empowers women is a world that thrives. The strength of a society is measured by how well it treats its women. When they are supported, respected, and given the space to rise, they lift everyone with them, creating a future where equality, dignity, and success belong to all. Change is not something that happens by accident, nor is it something that can be left for others to bring about. It begins with the choices made every single day in the way people think, speak, and act. Waiting for the world to change without taking personal responsibility is an illusion. Every great movement, every transformation in history started with individuals who decided that they would no longer accept things as they were. Change is not an event. It is a decision. It is easy to point fingers at society, the government, or institutions and demand better treatment, fairness, and respect. But true change does not start in high places. It starts in the hearts and minds of individuals. The way a person treats others, the values they pass down to their children, and the example they set in everyday life all contribute to the world's progress. Small actions done consistently create lasting impact. The way one speaks to a woman, the respect shown in conversations, and the willingness to challenge injustice when it is seen all play a role in shaping a better future. Excuses and hesitation delay progress, but courage and responsibility drive it forward. The world does not need more complaints. It needs more people willing to take action. A culture of respect, equality, and empowerment is built by those who refuse to ignore wrongdoing and choose to lead by example. One voice, one action, one decision can inspire a chain reaction of transformation. Every person holds the power to create change, not by waiting for someone else to take the first step, but by becoming the example that others will follow. Change is not distant or impossible. It is personal, immediate, and it begins with the choices made today. Respecting women is not just a choice. It is a responsibility that defines character, shapes societies, and secures the future. A world that honors women is a world that thrives, where families are stronger, communities are united, and generations grow with wisdom and dignity. Disrespect weakens, divides, and destroys. But respect builds, empowers, and transforms. The call to action is clear. Change begins with you. It is not enough to speak about respect. It must be lived, practiced, and defended in every aspect of life. The way you treat the women around you sets the standard for the world you want to create. If you want a future where justice, equality, and honor exist, you must embody those values today. A woman's worth is not defined by society, and her respect should not be conditional. She is not beneath anyone, nor is she in competition. She is an equal, a partner, a force of strength. To uplift her is to uplift humanity. To protect her dignity is to safeguard the future. It is time to break cycles of disrespect and build a culture where every woman is valued, heard, and empowered. Stand for what is right, challenge what is wrong, and be the example that inspires others. Respect is not an option, it is a duty. And when you choose to honor it, you are not just changing one life, you are shaping the destiny of generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen, a woman who is truly loved by God is not defined by the noise of the world, but by the whispers of heaven. She does not chase validation, she walks in revelation. When a woman is blessed by God's love, you don't just see it, you feel it. You witness it in her calmness, her confidence, her compassion. She becomes a walking manifestation of the kingdom. She radiates a peace that cannot be explained. It's not in her bank account. It's not in her relationship status. It's not in her appearance. It is in her spirit. You can sit next to her in a storm and somehow you feel safe because she knows who holds her life. She has learned the secret of stillness. She knows that favor doesn't mean ease, but it does mean covering. She is not interested in being popular. She is committed to being purposeful. Purpose gives her direction. It shapes her decisions. It filters her friendships. She doesn't entertain anything that compromises her assignment because she understands when you know your value, you don't negotiate your worth. She was not born to fit in. She was born to stand out, to stand firm, and to stand strong. She forgives quickly, not because it's easy, but because she knows bitterness is too expensive. Love is not just something she gives, it is something she lives. When she loves like God, deep, sacrificial, and unconditional. Her love is not reckless, but it is relentless. She guards her heart, yes, but she does not build walls that block the hand of God. She speaks with wisdom, and her tongue is governed by grace. She doesn't speak to be heard. She speaks to build. Her words are seasoned, not salted. They heal, not harm. Because she has sat long enough at the feet of the Holy Spirit to understand real power is quiet strength. She doesn't need to prove who she is. Her presence testifies before she ever opens her mouth. She values herself too much to give herself away carelessly. Her time is precious. Her body is sacred. Her mind is sharp. She does not just exist, she preserves purpose. She honors what God has placed inside her. She doesn't compete. She completes. She doesn't imitate. She initiates. Because she knows who crafted her identity. She doesn't just attract attention, she attracts favor. Doors open for her not because of charm, but because of character. People are drawn to her not just because of beauty, but because of the presence she carries. Favor follows her because heaven recognizes her obedience. And where there's obedience, there is always an overflow. She lifts others, but she doesn't lose herself. She can pour because she's connected to the source. She can give because she receives from God daily. She's not strong because she never cries. She's strong because she never quits. She's a nurturer, a warrior, a vessel, a leader, a blessing. And she doesn't apologize for being chosen. This kind of woman doesn't happen by accident. She is the product of intimacy with the Father. She has been refined by trials, reshaped by truth, and restored by grace. When she walks into the room, something shifts. Because when a woman is loved by God, she carries heaven wherever she goes. And I say to every woman listening, be that woman. Don't settle for what the world calls success. Seek what heaven calls significant. You don't need to be everything to everyone, just be everything God designed you to be. Because when you walk in divine love, you will never walk alone. She radiates inner peace that surpasses understanding. It is not a peace that comes from favorable circumstances or predictable outcomes. This peace is not manufactured through self-help books, spa days, or motivational quotes. It is born from an intimacy with the Creator, a trust so deep, so anchored, that no external storm can shake her internal stillness. She carries within her a sanctuary, a still place where God's voice drowns out the chaos of life. Her smile is not fake, it is fortified. Her silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. She doesn't need to defend her calm, because it was given to her by the one who commands the winds and the waves. She has cried through nights that no one saw. She has battled through fears she never voiced. Yet when she walks into a room, you don't see the weight she carried, you feel the peace she became. This is the peace that guards her heart and mind, because she refuses to let anxiety occupy the throne where God sits. Her life is not perfect, but her focus is unshakable. She knows who goes before her. And because of that, she is not easily moved. She walks slowly through life, not because she is unsure, but because she is surrendered. Her peace is not passive, it is powerful. She listens more than she reacts. She pauses instead of panicking. She chooses faith when fear is loudest. This peace is not an emotion, it's a spiritual posture. It is the fruit of a woman who has learned to rest in God's sovereignty. And when others are falling apart, they are drawn to her stability. Not because she has all the answers, but because she knows the one who does. Her peace is not understood, it is witnessed. And it becomes contagious to everyone around her. She walks in purpose, not popularity. Her steps are ordered, not influenced. She doesn't need the spotlight to feel seen because she lives under the gaze of the one who formed her. She's not driven by applause, trends, or likes. She's driven by conviction. Purpose is her compass, and it leads her through paths others often avoid, because purpose requires sacrifice, discipline, and focus. She understands that popularity is loud but fleeting, while purpose is quiet but eternal. So she chooses the narrow road over the crowded stage. She is not concerned with being accepted by the crowd when she has already been approved by God. Her decisions aren't shaped by what's trending, but by what's true. She doesn't chase platforms, she builds foundations. While others are seeking followers, she's seeking fruit. She values impact over image, calling over comfort, because she knows that when a woman walks in divine purpose, heaven backs her every step. She may not be the most visible, but she's the most rooted. And that makes her dangerous to darkness. She doesn't move because others are moving. She moves when God speaks. She doesn't need to be everywhere. She just needs to be where she's called. She understands timing. She honors seasons. She's not rushing to be seen. She's preparing to be effective. She has mastered the art of saying no to good things so she can say yes to the right things. That's the discipline of purpose. It filters distractions. It silences noise. It protects destiny. People may not always understand her choices, but she's not living to be understood. She's living to be obedient. And that obedience is what makes her unstoppable. She walks with clarity, grace, and intention, knowing that popularity can give you moments, but purpose gives you legacy. She forgives quickly and loves deeply, reflecting God's heart. Her forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but a demonstration of strength rooted in understanding. She knows that holding on to offense only poisons the soul and delays her purpose. So she lets go not because they deserve it, but because she deserves peace. She has learned that bitterness is too heavy for a woman called by God. Her heart is soft, but it is not naive. She discerns wisely, but she chooses to release others from the prison of her expectations. Why? Because she's been forgiven much, and she lives from that revelation. She doesn't forgive to gain approval. She forgives to stay in alignment. Alignment with the heart of God, who extends mercy even when justice is justified. And out of that same well, she loves not carelessly, but courageously. She doesn't love to be loved back. She loves because it's who she is. Love flows from her as naturally as breath, because she is connected to the source. Her love builds, heals, and restores. It doesn't manipulate or control. It carries grace with strength, truth with gentleness. Even when she's hurt, she chooses love. Not because it's easy, but because it's holy. Her love doesn't deny pain, but it refuses to let pain define her. She loves deeply because she understands the depth of God's love for her. That love transformed her. And now she becomes a vessel through which that same love touches others. Her relationships are safe havens, not battlegrounds. Her words are healing balm, not weapons. She mirrors the heart of the Father, not through perfection, but through purity. In a world quick to cancel and slow to forgive, she stands as a reminder that God's love is patient, kind, and always ready to redeem. She carries divine wisdom and speaks with grace. Her wisdom is not gathered from mere experience. It is drawn from intimacy with God. She doesn't speak just to be heard. She speaks to bring light, to bring order, to bring healing. Her words are weighty, not because they are loud, but because they are laced with truth. She has spent time in the secret place, listening more than talking, learning more than reacting. And from that place of surrender, she speaks not from ego, but from revelation. Her wisdom is not worldly, it's heavenly. It's not just about knowledge, it's about knowing what to do with what she knows. She doesn't just give advice, she imparts discernment. She has the ability to see beyond what's visible and speak to what's eternal. Her counsel doesn't inflate pride, it elevates purpose. Her tone carries compassion, not condemnation. She doesn't use her voice to compete, she uses it to call forth destiny. People come to her not for noise, but for clarity. Her presence brings calm. Her insight brings solutions. Her speech doesn't just answer questions, it stirs hearts and awakens identity. She is slow to speak and quick to pray. She doesn't react out of emotion, she responds from revelation. Even when she's misunderstood, she doesn't defend herself with pride, she covers herself with grace. Her words are seasoned, not sharpened. They do not cut, they cultivate. She knows the weight of her voice, and she uses it to build, never to break. Her wisdom is wrapped in humility. She doesn't need to prove she's right. She lives in such a way that truth proves itself through her life. She speaks from a place of love, guided by the Spirit, and every sentence she releases is a seed planted in the soil of someone's future. She honors her body, time, and calling, not because she seeks perfection, but because she understands value. She knows she was fearfully and wonderfully made, not to be used, but to be entrusted. Her body is not a tool of attention, it is a temple of purpose. She doesn't exploit her beauty, she protects it. She carries herself with dignity, not to impress others, but to reflect the image of the one who created her. She walks with self-respect because she knows that what God designed is sacred. She doesn't allow culture to define her worth or trends to dictate her choices. Her body is not just flesh, it is an instrument of worship. She honors her time because she knows her time is holy. She is not rushed by the world's pace, nor is she distracted by empty pursuits. She invests in things that grow her, stretch her, and prepare her for where God is taking her. She chooses her commitments wisely, understanding that where her time goes, her energy flows. She doesn't waste hours chasing approval or entertaining things that drain her spirit. She manages her time like a steward, not an owner, because she knows every moment is a gift she will one day give account for. She honors her calling like a woman on assignment. She doesn't compare her path to anyone else's because she knows her journey is customized by heaven. She stays faithful in private so she can be trusted in public. Her calling isn't just a career, it's a covenant. She treats it with reverence, knowing that purpose is not something she creates, but something she discovers and walks in with obedience. She lives with intention, guards her environment, and surrounds herself with voices that sharpen her. Because she understands when you honor what God has given you, He will always honor you in return. She attracts divine favor, not just attention. Attention is loud, fleeting, and often superficial. But favor is quiet, weighty, and deeply spiritual. Attention may fill a room, but favor opens rooms. She doesn't chase recognition, she walks in obedience. And because of that, doors open that no man can shut. People may wonder how things happen for her, how blessings find her, how she keeps rising despite opposition. It's not luck. It's not charm. It's not performance. It's favor. And favor can't be fabricated. It's the result of alignment with God's will. She's not trying to be seen. She's trying to be sent. That's why heaven backs her. Her name is mentioned in places she's never been. Her presence is requested in rooms she didn't campaign for because God's hand is upon her life. She doesn't use manipulation, seduction, or ambition to get ahead. She uses faithfulness. She serves in silence and God rewards her in public. Her favor isn't just for her benefit. It blesses everyone connected to her. Because divine favor is not selfish, it's strategic. God places favor on her life because He trusts her with influence. She doesn't compromise to gain approval. She doesn't dilute her values to gain platforms. Her focus is not visibility, it's credibility with God. And because of that, even when others overlook her, heaven never does. Divine favor will do what networking, effort, and striving never could. It surrounds her like a shield. It marks her steps. It brings provision, protection, and promotion. She is not just attractive, she is anointed. And that anointing draws what is assigned, not what is convenient. She's not in a rush to be celebrated. She is committed to being positioned because she knows when favor finds you, no attention can compare. Favor elevates you without explanation and sustains you without compromise. She uplifts others without losing herself. Her strength is not in how much she gives, but in how deeply she remains rooted while giving. She has learned that helping others does not mean abandoning herself. She knows how to pour without becoming empty, how to support without becoming invisible, how to serve without becoming lost. Her compassion is powerful, but it is not careless. She does not rescue to feel needed. She encourages to see others rise. She is not intimidated. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am so grateful you have joined me today. And I can't wait to dive into something that has the power to change your life. A stunning woman is not just a product of physical beauty. She is a masterpiece crafted from within. She is a reflection of purpose, a woman who knows why she exists and refuses to settle for mediocrity. Her life is not dictated by trends or opinions, but by her deep conviction to fulfill her God-given assignment. She walks with vision, seeing beyond the present and into the destiny that has been laid out for her. Her strength is not loud, it's unshakable. Life may throw storms her way, but she stands firm, anchored by a quiet confidence that flows from knowing who she is. A stunning woman does not let emotions control her. Instead, she channels them into passion, perseverance, and power, knowing that even pain can be transformed into purpose. She carries an inner beauty that radiates far beyond what the eyes can see. Her character, integrity, and values shine so brightly that they draw people toward her. She is kind yet firm, gentle yet unyielding when it comes to her principles. Her beauty is timeless because it is rooted in the unseen qualities of the soul. Wisdom is her crown. She thinks before she speaks, listens more than she talks, and acts with discernment. Her decisions are not driven by impulses, but by insight, for she understands that every choice she makes shapes the future. A stunning woman values knowledge and grows in understanding because she knows that wisdom is more precious than gold. Confidence flows through her, but it is never arrogance. She knows her worth, yet she does not flaunt it. She walks with grace, treating others with respect and humility. Her presence commands attention, not because she demands it, but because her aura reflects dignity and self-respect. A stunning woman is a nurturer. She pours into others without losing herself. She knows how to uplift those around her, encouraging them to reach their potential, whether it's through her words, her actions, or her quiet support. She leaves a mark on everyone she encounters. Her love is healing, her kindness is empowering, and her spirit is inspiring. Above all, a stunning woman's strength comes from her faith. She trusts her Creator with every step she takes. She knows that her beauty, her power, and her purpose come from a divine source. Her life is a testimony of what God can do through someone who is fully surrendered to Him. She is unshaken because she knows who holds her future. A stunning woman is not defined by society's standards or fleeting trends. She is rare, she is precious, and she is unforgettable. She is a woman of purpose, courage, and faith. A light in a world that so desperately needs her glow. A woman of vision is someone who sees beyond the surface and looks deeper into the potential of every situation. She has a clear understanding of where she is headed in life and is unwavering in her pursuit of that purpose. Vision is not merely about having goals or dreams. It is about having a deep-seated clarity of what life should look like and taking the necessary steps to make that vision a reality. She understands that vision requires more than just thinking. It demands action, perseverance, and faith. A woman of vision doesn't allow distractions to sidetrack her from her path. She knows that the road ahead may not always be smooth, but she is prepared to navigate the obstacles with the strength and resilience that comes from knowing where she's going. She doesn't measure success by temporary setbacks, but by the bigger picture that motivates her to keep moving forward. She is guided by purpose, not by the opinions of others. While many may be swayed by the voices around them, a woman of vision remains anchored in her conviction. Her decisions are driven by her understanding of her ultimate goal, and she makes every choice with that purpose in mind. She does not waste time on things that don't align with her vision, and this focused approach allows her to accomplish far more than most. A woman of vision not only sees where she is going, but also envisions a better future for those around her. She understands that her success is intertwined with the success of her community, her family, and her loved ones. She leads by example, encouraging others to pursue their dreams and helping them see their own potential. For her, vision is not just personal, it's collective. It is about creating a future where everyone can thrive. Emotional strength is the ability to maintain composure and clarity in the face of life's challenges. It is not about suppressing emotions, but about mastering them. Understanding that emotions are a natural part of the human experience, yet not allowing them to dictate one's actions. A woman with emotional strength knows that life will test her, but she chooses how she responds. Her power lies in her capacity to stay grounded, even when circumstances try to pull her off balance. This strength is built through experiences, often the hardest ones, where she learns that while she cannot control every situation, she can control how she reacts. She may feel anger, sadness, or frustration, but she doesn't let those emotions consume her. Instead, she processes them, understands their root cause, and chooses to rise above them. Emotional strength is not about avoiding pain or challenges, but about facing them head on with grace and determination. A woman with emotional strength does not allow negativity or criticism to derail her. She understands that people's opinions do not define her worth. She is confident in herself, knowing that her value is not tied to fleeting moments of judgment or temporary difficulties. Instead of reacting impulsively, she takes the time to reflect, ensuring that her responses are measured and purposeful. Her emotional resilience allows her to move forward, even after facing loss, disappointment, or betrayal. She knows that emotional strength is not about being invulnerable, but about being able to bounce back after every setback. It is the ability to find peace in the chaos, to remain centered amidst the storm, and to always keep moving forward with courage, knowing that the strength she needs is already within her. Inner beauty is the essence of who a person truly is beneath the surface. It is a reflection of the heart, the mind, and the soul, and it transcends the physical appearance. A woman with inner beauty exudes kindness, compassion, and integrity, making her presence felt long after she has left the room. Her beauty is not confined to her outward features. It is a manifestation of her character, the way she treats others, and the values she holds dear. She radiates warmth because she chooses to uplift those around her, offering support, encouragement, and empathy. This type of beauty is cultivated through self-awareness and personal growth. A woman with inner beauty is someone who continuously works on herself, not just in terms of her skills or intellect, but in terms of her emotional and spiritual health. She understands that true beauty lies in the way she reacts to others, how she handles conflict, and how she demonstrates love and patience, especially in difficult circumstances. Humility and grace come from the understanding that she is not perfect, but that perfection is not required to be beautiful. She carries herself with authenticity, not trying to be someone she is not in order to gain approval or admiration. Her strength comes from within, and her beauty shines through her actions, her words, and her attitude. She is not easily swayed by external opinions, for she is rooted in her own values and beliefs. Her self-worth is not dependent on validation from the world around her, but from her inner knowing of who she is and whose she is. Inner beauty is not something that fades with age or time. It only deepens and strengthens as she continues to evolve and grow. Wisdom and discernment are qualities that guide a woman's life, enabling her to make decisions that are not only sound, but aligned with her higher purpose. While knowledge is the accumulation of information, wisdom is the application of that knowledge with understanding and foresight. A woman of wisdom doesn't just react to situations. She pauses, reflects, and takes the time to seek the deeper meaning in every circumstance. She knows that life is not just about facts, but about interpreting those facts in ways that lead to positive outcomes. Discernment, closely tied to wisdom, allows her to see beyond the surface. It is the ability to differentiate between what appears good and what is truly good, between what is beneficial and what is harmful. A woman with discernment does not make decisions based on emotions or impulses. She considers the long-term effects and the true nature of things. This gift of discernment helps her to navigate relationships, work, and even internal struggles with a clear perspective. She has an innate ability to sense the truth of situations, even when others are clouded by bias or deception. Her wisdom and discernment are not just about knowing the right thing to do, but about knowing when and how to act. She understands the importance of timing, and her decisions are made with careful consideration of both the present and the future. Her choices reflect a balance between logic and intuition, guided by a sense of calm and peace that comes from a deep connection with herself and her Creator. A woman who possesses wisdom and discernment is not easily swayed by opinions or societal pressures, because she knows that the path she is on is one she has carefully chosen based on insight and understanding. Confidence without arrogance is the quiet assurance that comes from knowing your worth without needing to prove it to others. A woman with this kind of confidence does not seek validation from the world around her. Instead, she is grounded in her own self-awareness and acceptance. Her strength is not in boasting about her accomplishments or drawing attention to herself, but in her ability to stand tall and firm in who she is, regardless of external opinions. She understands that true confidence comes from within, and it does not require comparison or competition with others. This kind of confidence is rooted in humility. She knows her abilities and values, but she also recognizes that every achievement, every talent, and every opportunity is part of a greater purpose. A confident woman does not diminish others to make herself feel superior. She celebrates the success of others and lifts them up because she understands that there is room for everyone to shine. She does not need to belittle anyone to elevate herself, because her self-worth is not dependent on making others feel less than. Her confidence is expressed through her actions, her body language, and the way she interacts with the world. She walks with grace, speaks with assurance, and listens with empathy. She is secure in her choices and decisions, but she remains open to learning and growing. She is not afraid to admit when she is wrong, and she is always willing to learn from her mistakes. A woman with confidence, without arrogance, knows that her value does not come from perfection, but from her authenticity and her ability to stay true to herself, regardless of the circumstances. A nurturing spirit is one that seeks to uplift, support, and care for others with a deep sense of compassion and selflessness. A woman with a nurturing spirit understands that her purpose extends beyond her own needs and desires. She is attuned to the emotional, mental, and spiritual needs of those around her. Her presence is comforting, like a safe haven where others can find solace, encouragement, and healing. She nurtures not just through physical care, but through kindness, understanding, and a willingness to listen. She creates spaces where people feel seen, heard, and valued, making it easier for them to be their true selves. This nurturing spirit is not about seeking recognition or praise. It comes from a genuine desire to make a positive difference in the lives of others. She gives of herself freely, offering her time, energy, and love without expecting anything in return. Her actions are rooted in empathy, and she intuitively knows when someone needs support, whether it's a kind word, a helping hand, or simply a listening ear. She doesn't just see people for who they are at the moment. She sees their potential and encourages them to step into it. Her nurturing spirit extends beyond those she knows personally. She has a heart for the greater good. Whether in her community, her workplace, or in the world at large, she seeks opportunities to contribute, make an impact, and help others grow. This spirit of care is not about controlling or fixing others, but about empowering them to become the best versions of themselves. She inspires those around her to embrace their own capacity for growth, healing, and transformation, knowing that in nurturing others, she nurtures herself. Faith and trust in God are the foundation of a woman's strength and resilience. A woman with unwavering faith places her complete trust in God's plan for her life, knowing that He holds her future in His hands. This trust is not born out of convenience or temporary circumstances, but from a deep, unshakable belief that God is always faithful, no matter what she faces. She understands that challenges and uncertainties are part of the journey, but they do not diminish her faith. Instead, they strengthen it, because she knows that God works in ways beyond her understanding, and His purpose for her is greater than anything she could imagine. Her faith is not passive, it is active and lived out daily through her decisions, her words, and her actions. She holds on to the promises of God, knowing that He is her provider, protector, and guide. Even in times of doubt or fear, she chooses to believe that God's love for her is constant and unchanging. This trust leads her to act with confidence because she knows that with God, all things are possible. She doesn't rely on her own strength alone, but leans into the power of the Almighty, trusting that He will equip her for every challenge. Her trust in God brings peace to her heart. When the world around her is in turmoil, she remains calm because she knows that God is in control. She is not swayed by the opinions of others or by the temporary storms of life. Instead, she holds fast to the truth that God is faithful and He will never leave or forsake her. This faith gives her the courage to face anything that comes her way, knowing that God's plan for her life is far better than any plan she could devise on her own. A woman who embodies vision, emotional strength, inner beauty, wisdom, confidence, a nurturing spirit, and unwavering faith is a force to be reckoned with. She is not defined by the world's standards, but by the power within her that comes from her Creator. She understands that her value is not based on fleeting circumstances or external approval, but on the unshakable truth of who she is. In every challenge, she stands firm, trusting in the plan that God has for her life and using her gifts to impact the lives of others. She does not just survive, she thrives, walking boldly in her purpose, knowing that the strength and beauty she carries are a reflection of the divine power that resides within her. This woman is a reminder to us all that true beauty, strength, and success come not from what we see with our eyes, but from the depths of our hearts and the faith we hold. The world needs more women like her, strong, resilient, compassionate, and deeply rooted in their faith.